From inside the Lloyd Noble Center, a 1-2 matchup in women's college gymnastics. #1 Oklahoma hosting #2 Florida. Alongside Olympian and Sooner legend Kelly Garrison Funderburk, I am Meg McDonald. No doubt this is the top meet of the weekend, if not the top meet of the season so far. This is the 4th meeting between these two teams. Florida beat Oklahoma in the regular season last year by less than 1/10 of a point. However, the Sooners had the advantage in the postseason, beating Florida in the semifinals and in the Super 6. Kelly, what a matchup that we have on our hands tonight.
We are so lucky. Anytime you're watching #1 and #2 in the country, you're watching the cream of the crop. Both teams are undefeated, and yet
we will send it down to the 3rd member of our team, Emily Dunford.
Yeah, guys, Maggie Nichols, as you said, had that foot injury in the home opener, and last week she competed in both bars and beam. And KJ Kindler said that during her time off, Maggie had 0 sissy fits. She said that there were no complaints from her, that she only lived up to her expectations of being a leader in that situation, that her teammates looked to her to see what to do in a situation like that, considering all of the injuries on this team so far this season. Now, Maggie will be back on bars and beam again tonight, and she said that she's excited to get back in front of this home crowd. And good news for Sooner fans, she said that she is getting back to feeling at 100%, and hopefully she will be back on the all-around coming up soon.
Emily, thanks so much. This brings us to the keys to the meet presented by Riverwind. Kelly, what are your keys?
Well, naturally, tonight, perfection is everything. I mean, this is unusual. So have to be so perfect so early in the season. So a perfect landing, a perfect toe point, and perfect form. Like I said, this is a little bit unusual to do so early.
And here we go. Nicole Lehrman starting the meet off on vault.
Nice, and almost a stuck landing, because that's how they want to start it off.
And that's your lead off, doing a Yurchenko 1.5 and almost grabbing that landing.
You know, it is unusual because the Sooners are the first team in the country to have a 10-0 start value from every gymnast competing. The 6 scores that really makes a difference for when that team total is added up.
Over to the bars here, senior Alicia Boren. She was on the SportsCenter top 10 last week on this event.
Alicia is that one that I mentioned earlier who has the experience and the confidence. She really knows how to find that handstand. Preparing for a dismount. Right here, we know landings are what you're going to be looking for, and a stuck landing, tiny, kind of hard to tell on the mat because the mat was soft. I can't say it looked like a perfect stick, but it was awfully close.
Florida coming off their best performance last week on the bars, and a lot of that has to do with their assistant coach in Owen Field. He's the bar coach. He has taken this team to a new level. And we head back over to vault. Here's sophomore Anastasia Webb, 2018 Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, has a brand new vault in the Yurchenko 1.5 this year.
You know, on vault, they're looking for that height and that amplitude, also distance. So as you watch, look to see how high they are. We all know they can stick the landings. Even my grandma knows you're supposed to stick the landing. But the other things that you're looking for, that's what makes the difference in the winners, and especially for tonight.
So what exactly are you looking for when it comes to vault, Kelly?
Well, like I mentioned, you want to see this lift, this height right there off of the vaulting table. And then the form in the air, straight legs, perfectly pointed toes, and then a stuck landing, no movement of the feet.
Here's Rachel Gowie, the junior from Urbandale, Iowa, All-American on this event.
Rachel has a great routine and a great swing. Loved to watch her. Last week, I was watching and noticed that she landed with her chest down on her dismount, which is a no-no. So this is one thing to look for. Right here, she lands her dismount. Chest needs to be up. So it's still a little bit down. That's a slight deduction, not huge. And I do think she does it to kind of see the landing, but that's one thing she'll want to work on. Still a great routine, though. Second routine, nice.
A 9-9 for Alicia Boren in that leadoff position for Florida. And we'll head back over to vault. Junior Jade Dagovea from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 2018 Vault All-American.
She has really turned on. You know, she learned this vault when she came to OU. It was something that she kind of tried it one day and said, hey, I think I want to, you know, upgrade. And now look at her. Wow. Beautiful. You know, last week they struggled a little bit with their landings. They only stuck 2 landings last weekend. And so I'm sure that's one thing that the coaches have really worked on this week. So here she gets that lift, form, her legs are together, light bend, and just a tiny hop. So just to be clear, that's not a stuck landing, but that tiny shift of the feet is maybe a half a tenth.
You know what's really cool about the start of this meet? Oklahoma is ranked #1 on vault, and Florida is ranked #1 on bars. And here's Amelia Hunley, junior from Hamilton, Ohio, trained at Cincinnati Gymnastics, 4-time All-American.
She has a great routine. You'll get to notice the different release moves that she does. Starts off right here with the chapache, and then right into a pack salto, and then watch here, you're going to see this again tonight. This is a chapache half. It's a nice transition from the low bar to the high bar. One thing that is required and one thing they're looking for. Now see if she can make the landing.
Nice.
Yeah, she did it all right. She nailed it. You know, it's at this point they get so picky, Meg, that if their feet are just slightly apart, I mean, you'll notice her dismount, her feet are just a tiny bit, one shifted in front of the other. But I know other athletes who do this, so we'll just see how the judges score it.
Here's Allie Stern on the vault, the freshman.
Allie's just getting her feet wet, bless her heart. And she knows it. You can see just that response on her face. And the Sooners need her, but they're just giving her this opportunity so they can use her. It just brings depth for the Sooner team.
So Nicole Lehrman, the scores are in. 9.9 for her in that leadoff. Anastasia Webb, 9.925. Jade Degovea, 9.9. Rachel Gowie on bars for Florida, 9.875. Well, this is already a tight meet.
Right. And we knew it would be.
And here is Trinity Thomas on the bars, the freshman that we've been talking about.
And you'll see just the calm, the poise. I love that uprise right into clear hip. And then a beautiful pack salto. You know, she just reminds me she's so calm. Like, playing,
nice handstand.
Just playing in that handstand. I could go either way, she says. Nice. She's proven why she won it #1 last weekend.
She's a 3-sport athlete. Did you know that? Diver, gymnast, and she ran track.
Right. I talked to Coach Roland about that, and I said, how does she do this? I mean, here she is training international gymnastic level, and then here she throws in a little track and a little diving on the side.
Here's another freshman, Olivia Troutman.
And she's phenomenal. Whoa, how about that?
That's the best one I've seen her compete so far.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, she averages a 9.856. That's just going to boost that. I love the competition here. It's like anything you can do, I can do better. So, you know, this is what it's all about. This is what we were talking about in the beginning. The best gymnastics, the best of the best.
Here's KJ Kindler, the head coach of the Oklahoma gymnastics team, in her 13th season at OU, 3-time National Coach of the Year. She has taken this program to new heights.
She really has. I mean, I'm just enamored by what she's done.
And over to bars, here's Florida's Savannah Shaner.
Now, Savannah does a different skill that you see, a Jaeger. And then in a minute, she'll go right here to the nice overshoot. A little fast on the handstand, but still good. Now watch her dismount. It's a little different. You want to show turning on your bar routine, so she does that blind pull right into dismount and sticks the landing. Again, though, feet just a touch. Just like Boganskaya used to do, kind of, she made it famous. But the judges are looking for that, you know, feet together. Both teams are going to have to work on that.
Trinity Thomas, her score is in 9.975. One of the judges gave her a 10, and we'll transition back to vault. Brenna Dow, the senior from Missouri.
Well, and Brenna's got a 10 before. Oh, not quite tonight, but that's okay. It was a solid routine, a solid vault. This just shows you how amazingly close tonight's competition is going to be. And that hop, it's not okay. I'm just going to say it out loud. It's not okay. We'll see at the end of the meet is what we'll do. We'll see at the end of the meet if it makes a difference.
Scores are in. Allie Stern scored a 9.825. Olivia Troutman, the freshman, 9.95. Shaner, 9.925. And here's Florida's exhibition, Megan Chan. Nice high Kachev.
I love the way her rhythm.
Excuse me, Megan Skaggs. Not the exhibition. This is her anchor.
Yeah, right. She's aggressive. Did the beautiful Kachev right to the pack. Oh, wow. We talk about turn it on. That is putting the pressure on. And there is also a huge Gator fan club here in the Lloyd Noble Center. Something we're not really used to seeing, but it also brings an additional level of excitement. Love it.
And this is why the Gators are #1 in the nation on this event. Before Megan Skaggs went, the team had a 49.6. That is not counting her score, and I think that might even go up after that routine. Brenna Dow's score, 9.9. Looks like the Sooners will have a 49.575 on the opening event. Kelly, if this is any indication of how this meet is going to go, it is one after the other. 9 plus.
Yeah, you can't leave your seat. I mean,
you really can't.
There's no bathroom breaks on this one. I mean, don't stop and go make popcorn because you will miss it.
And here is the exhibition in Megan Chan for the Gators on bars.
You know, this routine, too, shows the depth it gives the athlete when they do exhibition experience. So when they are called, they're ready to go. Very nice how she hit that handstand, almost went over, but then didn't panic. And just let it happen. She pulled it right back. And that shows great poise, confidence. For those young gymnasts out there watching, these are the things you learn from.
So Oklahoma scores a 49.575 on vault. Megan Skaggs comes in with a 9.95. So Florida scores a 49.675 on the bars. Coming up next, we'll head into the second rotation. Oklahoma on the bars, Florida on the vault. Here's a look at the rotations for this upcoming event. Anastasia Webb, Olivia Troutman, Carrie Thomas, Brenna Dow, Nicole Lehrman, and Maggie Nichols for the Sooners. And over on vault, Sierra Alexander, Megan Chant, Nia Reed makes her way back into the lineup for Florida. Savannah, Shane Hare, Alicia Boren, and Trinity Thomas. We certainly have an exciting second rotation coming up next.
We really do. One thing that I was going to note, Megan, is that, you know, the Sooners are ranked #2 on bars. And but Florida, they're really going into their weaker event for them, and they're ranked #10. So we'll be curious to see how this, you know, hashes out basically after the second rotation.
Here's the head coach, Jenny Rowland, for Florida in her 4th season. She was a former U.S. national team member. She coached a league at Bart Conner Gymnastics Academy right here in Norman, Oklahoma. Also was an assistant at OU from 01 to 06. And we will head back over to vault. The leadoff for Florida, Amanda Chaney.
You know, Meg, one thing that we mentioned is that the Sooners have a 10-0 start value for every vault. Well, that is not quite the case just yet for Florida. So that vault has been downgraded from a 10-0 start value to a 9.95. So the more 10-0 start values, obviously, you start with, the higher chances are your score is going to be. So I'm sure they're working to improve that, but that was a solid start for Florida.
Back over to bars for the Sooners. The sophomore Anastasia Webb upgraded this bar dismount that we'll see in just a few seconds.
Wow, that was sky high, that packed salto. You know, this is one of those places for Anastasia to have to step up and be a leader. I mean, this is a new challenge. Here comes the dismount. Okay, not a stuck landing, but a solid start for Anastasia being put in that position for the first time.
She stuck that dismount last week on podium.
Here you'll see her go right into the dismount, double front. She sees the landing, half out. Sometimes I think they step before they realize they even need to step.
Back over to the vault, Megan Chance, the junior from Watertown, Ontario. She was limited last year due to an ankle injury.
Now this vault is a traditional vault. It's called a Sukahara full Swiss or Suk full, and she was in the Canadian Olympic trials. She has a lot of experience herself, but that vault is actually much more difficult for most gymnasts than the round-off entry. Shows you how powerful she is out of that little body.
Here's a look at the freshman for the Sooners, Olivia Troutman, teammate of Maggie Nichols, training as an elite from Twin City Twisters, making her bar debut for Oklahoma.
This is really a great opportunity for Olivia to show her coaches and her team that she is one to call on. She had a little stumble there when she caught the bar. It looked like either her hand, maybe her thumb slipped off, but she saved it. It wasn't pretty, but she did save it. So it's okay. Again, this is a learning experience for her to be able to push through that. Not necessarily going to help to win the competition, but again, I mean, she's a freshman. She's just working through some of these kinks.
Anastasia Webb scored a 9.9. Megan Chant, 9.825 on vault for Florida. And that brings us to Nia Reed, the freshman from Landover, Maryland, trained at Capital Gymnastics in Burke, Virginia. Did not compete last week.
Wow, does she run fast? Look at that power. And you can see why. She does that Yurchenko full and a half. Not everyone runs that fast. She looks scared. She's like, pew, down the runway. That was amazing. When she gets that landing, she really is going to have a vault to the rest of the country's going to have to contend with.
Really great distance for her. She shot out from the vault.
Well, and that's good. And it also says maybe she needs to pop it up a little bit, too. So you can look at it either way.
Here's Carrie Thomas for the Sooners on the bars, the transfer from Maryland. She is a sophomore.
I was just going to say, she has really come along. I mean, when I first watched her early, even before season started, she just looked insecure. You know, I'm not sure I'm going to make this lineup, and boy, howdy, she just looks great. Sometimes I'm watching her, and I think, did I just watch Maggie do her routine?
Wow.
Yeah. Look at her go. You go, girl. Love it.
She has come a long way.
Look how she's really working the position in the handstand. Her legs are squeezed tight, feet together, toes pointed. She is really striving for that perfect 10.
Olivia Troutman's score is in on bars, 9.875. Nice handstand.
So here's a repeat showing the dismount. She saw it, but she pulled her feet down in front of her, just as trying to stick that landing. Just let it happen.
Back over to vault, the freshman Savannah Shanehair from Columbus, Georgia, fell on this vault last week. Not tonight.
No way. She says, I'm not doing that again. That was a perfect landing. So this is one of the few sticks that we've seen on vault tonight, really from either team. It might be considered, I'll be just straight up a little flat, the vault itself, but she nailed the landing. And that, it just excites the crowd, it excites the team, and if they can build on that momentum.
Megan Chant scored a 9.825, Nia Reed 9.875, and here's Brenna Dow, the senior for the Sooners.
Brenna is simply so talented on the uneven bar. She has just a vocabulary of skills to pick from.
She fell on that release just last week at Metroplex Challenge.
Yeah, I think her mouth just dropped open like, what? What just happened? But you can see her working. She's not holding back. She's really going for each of the handstands. I mean, I can assure you right now, the thing they're going to work on when they get back in the gym is those landings, because I honestly think they're trying too hard. Sometimes, as I said earlier, you just got to let it happen. Now watch this vault.
Alicia Boren, she's only 4'11", so the Yurchenko 1.5.
Watch the power. Look at this. Wow. Oh,
too much power.
She needs to add another twist or so. You know?
I would love to see a Yurchenko double.
Or 2.5. I mean, she is so powerful. Honestly, she has the height to do a double back. A Yurchenko double back. Yeah.
Wow. Bold statement, Kelly. I like it.
Yeah, I might let him know about that. Look at this. Watch. I mean, sky high. Too bad, because, I mean, she literally had to almost run out of it.
Shayner's score is in 9.9. Brenna Dow scored a 9.925. And here is senior Nicole Lehrman, national champion on this event.
She is your go-to on the uneven bars. I'd pick her for my team any day of the week. She's beautiful. Her lines are long. Wow.
Holding that handstand like it's nobody's business.
Kind of like, did everyone see that? Because if not, you need to take a picture right now. Look at the landing.
Nice.
Aha! Wow, the crowd goes crazy. I love it. They love great gymnastics. And see the crowd, they know, if they don't know anything else, they do know the landing. You have to not move. And so they're like right on.
Competing next on ball for Florida, Trinity Thomas.
Super exciting.
Great dismount. Trinity Thomas about to vault for Florida in that anchor spot.
She's another one that, again, she tried too hard, that little stink, because, you know, the other gymnast, Boren, had so much power. Yes! And yet, so she tried to go hard to stick it to not have too much power also. But look what we're seeing.
A 10.0 for Nicole Lehrman, and this crowd is going crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. And you know what? I think the crowd called it before the judges.
It looked like it. This crowd was going crazy before the 10 was actually flashed. Wow.
And that is her first.
Now look at her. She's telling Anastasia Webb that she scored it.
Yeah.
Wow, and now Maggie Nichols up next on bars, having to really calm down after that crowd went crazy after a 10. And here she goes.
If anyone can hold the emotion and the control, it is this athlete.
3 releases for her as well.
I love her rhythm. It just is so natural. It's effortless. I mean, and she's on the money every single time. Look at the dismount.
There it is.
She's like, I want one too. I want one too.
Look at her getting the crowd involved. I wonder if she knew that Nicole Lehrman scored a 10.
Oh, I think she's too experienced as an athlete. I mean, she's a social butterfly. She knows. She knows how to use the public.
We'll see if the judges will give her a 10 as well.
You know, I have to say it. I don't know because the feet on the landing.
Here's Syria Alexander, an exhibition for Florida. Great Yurchenko.
Boy, they've got some huge vaults over there. If they can find the landing, they're going to be scary to deal with, is what they're going to be.
Please move to your next event.
We'll see what the judges award Maggie Nichols.
Florida will be on floor.
That's right.
9.975. So one of the judges gave her a 10. The other one gave her a 9.95. They averaged the two. She gets a 9.975. All right, that's going to do it for the second rotation here inside the LNC. Florida scores a 49.15 on vault. OU scores a 49.725 on bars. Coming up next, we'll have the third rotation. You're watching Sooner Women's Gymnastics presented by Bud Light, official sponsor of OU Athletics, reminding you to enjoy responsibly.
Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Sooner Sports TV personalities wardrobe is provided by Threads Menswear on Campus Corner and the Clothing Bar Carriage Plaza in Norman. Hair and makeup provided by Studio Zen.
A 49.725 for the Sooners on the board ties the highest score in program history. Great rotation. Here is your Air Comfort Solutions halfway score update. OU leading 99.3 to a Florida 9.825. A great start to this competition. Here's a look at the top 10 rankings presented by Chewy's. OU in Florida, of course, #1 and #2. UCLA dropping from #2 to #3 just this past week. In 4th is Utah, LSU, Georgia, Denver coming in at 7, Alabama 8, Boise State in the top 10, and then Michigan rounding out the top 10 rankings. What a start to this meet. We're only at the halfway point in it. We've had a 10. We've had lead changes. This has been fun.
Well, I knew it was going to be exciting. I'm not quite sure I'll tell you what's making the difference for me. It's the crowd.
It's a great crowd tonight.
It is a great crowd here in Sooner Nation, and this is what we have been working for at Oklahoma. They really are hoping to increase the crowd, and now you can see why. Look what they're presenting.
Oklahoma is ranked #1 on the beam, and here is freshman Olivia Troutman as the leadoff for the Sooners.
You know, most people would not covet the role as a lead gymnast on balance beam, but Olivia does.
Career high 9.9 in that leadoff position.
You know, one thing she mentioned when she decided to come to OU, it was because she felt like OU was one big family. And I know that finding the right home as a youngster, really, you know, you're 17 or 18 years old, to have to pick that university. Olivia's doing a solid routine. One thing that judges are looking for, especially this year as a change, is to have continuous movement on the balance beam. There's a deduction if you pause too long, especially before a dismount. See if she can find the landing. She sure did.
Great opening set for the Sooners.
That's amazing because, you know, first up, chances are might be a 9.9. Some teams would, that might be their best. And this is, for the Sooners, that's their first.
No big deal.
Same thing on floor exercise, though, for the Gators, so get ready.
Here's Sydney Johnson-Sharp, freshman from Claremont, Florida. Season high 9.9 just last week. She's smart, too, an engineering major.
I have to say I favored this one a touch only because her mother and I were teammates in the Olympics.
Oh, no way.
Yes. So I get to see a little bit of Brandy Johnson.
Love that. Unfortunately, that first pass, though.
Yeah, stepped out. You know, it is throughout the season that they try to find those landings, and every arena is different. Finding your spots. There is a challenge of knowing how hard to go. I love that. Shushanova full. Their choreography this year is really unique and outstanding. I love it. There's the Gator Chomp.
Every routine will have that Gator Chomp. It's been tradition for decades.
Started in 1994. A gymnast, Colleen Johnson, started it. And then everyone said, I want that in my routine, too. So it definitely is a tradition. Sydney's doing a good job, except for that step out. Here's the last pass. Good. And double tuck. So she has 2 tumbling passes. Big skills, double pike, and an ending double tuck. It takes a lot of endurance.
The score is in for Olivia Troutman in that leadoff position. A season high 9.925. What a start to this beam lineup. And coming up next, Coming off a 10, here's Nicole Lehrman, the senior.
Nicole is just one of those solid gymnasts, and what I love about her routine this year is that she's upgraded. I mean, she doesn't even need to upgrade, but she's chosen to upgrade. We're going to see it when she adds a triple series coming up. And it's not just a normal triple series, it's a unique one. You have to be right on. Back handspring, layout, immediately. Whoa, no. Go figure. Didn't mean to jinx her, but that's normally a flip-flop swing down. Okay, that's a game changer right there, Megan.
That absolutely is.
In college gymnastics, 6 girls compete. 5 scores count. Especially on balance beam, when there's a fall, it puts additional pressure on the other athletes. They have to hit in order to not count a fall.
Early in the lineup, too, that is not what the Sooners want.
But, you know, of all teams that will be able to handle this,
the #1 team in the nation on this event
should be able to do that. So we will see. We will see. Couldn't make it easy. Had to make it exciting and challenging.
Go figure. It's going to come down to the last event. As we head back over to Florida, here is Amelia Hunley for the Gators.
You'll probably recognize this music.
She won the most consistent award last year on top of the Heart and Soul award last year. Get ready for the greatest show.
Flip right to double back. In floor exercise, they have to show a tumbling pass with 2 different saltos, so she accomplished that requirement in her first pass. Second tumbling pass. Wow, double pike. A little loose on the landing.
Amelia was 9th in the 2016 Olympic trials for the United States, 6th at the PG Championships.
She definitely has a lot of international and national elite level experience. You know, switching to college gymnastics from that elite level is such a change, and there's just so many dynamics that you have to work under with school and schedules, and you know, a lot of times the elites are homeschooled, and so all of a sudden there's, you know, that's a big change for a college gymnast and college athlete. Here's that last pass showing twisting movement. You can tell she loves to do gymnastics. I mean, she just has a natural smile. She's enjoying herself, loving it, and that's one thing that's a perfect attribute to describe college gymnastics. Fun.
Sydney Johnson-Sharps, her score 9.55. Nicole Lehrman, her score 9.225. And that brings us to sophomore Carly Woodard on the balance beam. One of the toughest positions to be in after a fall on beam.
Absolutely. They do train for this. Pressure sets. You can just see her seriousness. You know, there's no playing around right now. Side air, and such a difficult flight series. That side aerial, because it's a twisting element. Sometimes you're square when you land, and sometimes you're not. So very amazing. You know, Meg, one thing you're going to notice, a really great beam team will work through the challenges, whether it's one girl falling or not being perfectly on and not allowing the emotions to get involved with what they know how to do best. Just get up and do what you know how to do best. And it's so challenging sometimes.
You just want to
let that go.
You just want to tell them, get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Stay out of your own way.
Exactly. Well, here's her dismount. So she hit, and that's what they needed and wanted. Bringing it back in line.
KJ Kindler certainly happy to see that.
I'm not sure if she was happy or just a sense of relief. You know, just thank you. Thank you.
Nice dismount.
Yep. Aerial back full. Beautiful.
Hunley's score is in for the Gators, 9.875, and this is the freshman Nia Reed from Landover, Maryland. She competed in the first 2 meets on floor, scoring a 9.9 or better.
You can see why. Look at that. Double lay.
Huge double layout.
Couldn't really see it from this angle, but
it was high.
Yeah, definitely. She's the one on ball that was just flying.
The Gators certainly happy to see her back in the lineup on both vault and floor after not competing those 2 events last week.
Really bringing the crowd into it. I love when a crowd just appreciates good gymnastics and is respectful to whoever is performing. It doesn't have to be a Sooner. They just love to watch it and enjoy it, and they show it by applauding. Second pass.
Nice.
Very clean.
Love how that second flip is higher than the first flip. Textbook.
You know, on floor exercise, it's not just the tumbling and dance. You have to bring out your personality, and she definitely is doing so. She's just dancing for this crowd, engaging them. Of course, when you have music like this, it's very popular. It's easy to reach all types of the population. Very good. Great routine. Wow.
Yeah, she killed that.
She definitely killed it. Double pike, or ends double pike, starts double lay. Impressive.
A very, very talented gymnast in Nia. Carly Woodard for the Sooners, 9.85. Big score after a fall. We'll head back over to being Bree Showers, the junior from Rockford, Michigan. 2018 Team NCAA MVP for Oklahoma.
Bree has really upped her game since her freshman year. She was out with a wrist injury and was really out her whole freshman year. Come on. You know, tonight, as I'm watching this unfold, this is such a learning lesson for the Sooners. If they, regardless, win or lose, they are learning something huge right now that hopefully will help them in every meet throughout the season, particularly even at nationals. If things don't go your way, just like that.
So not falling.
How do you bounce back? How do you, you know? I'll be curious to see, you know, that is a fall, but she fell on the beam. So some judges take 3, some will take 5 for a fall.
A huge deduction that the Sooners really can't afford when you're going against the number 2 team in the nation.
Absolutely.
Now the pressures are on for the rest of the lineup after this.
Well, you can see she's starting to rush a little bit toward the end because I think of timing. Wow. You can see Coach Kindler's, okay, I want to say stressed, but I think unhappy is really more accurate. You know, this is really not the team that she knows. And, of course, Bree knows it, too. You see the look on her face. Now, get ready for fun. This floor routine is really great.
This is Alicia Boren, the senior, and this routine is the evolution of dance, and she starts out with a huge double layout.
Again, watch this. Nice and high, a little control on the landing, but listen, just watch and listen. She brings in a little, from the 80s up to current. So, a little MC Hammer. Hey. Get ready, you'll notice other dance moves.
Look at her teammates in the background.
They all love this routine. Matter of fact, I might start working on it. sometimes, you know, you'll see gymnasts and they dance and they kind of get out of the gymnastic character. I think she balances this really well.
Alicia has competed all around in all but her first meet as a freshman. This is her 44 consecutive meets in the all-around for the Gators.
What's amazing with that is just being healthy all those years. Watch this dismount.
Huge double back.
Easy double tuck. Easy. Check out that.
The Fortnite dance, I think.
The hype. Sadly,
Awesome.
I know what the hype is at our house. I haven't quite mastered it, but she certainly has. That was a great and fun routine.
Easily one of the best floor routines in the country,
Right.
for sure. Okay, heading back over to beam for the Sooners. Pressure's on for sophomore Anastasia Webb. She won the all-around last week at Metroplex Challenge. We'll see what she does on the beam here tonight.
Oh, and again, she averages a 9.931.
Free Shower scored a 9.575 right before her. Nia Reed, 9.925 for the Gators.
Definitely a little too close for comfort for some. You can see their apprehension just a touch. And it's one of those things you're trying so hard. And this is where your mind has to be so strong.
Probably the hardest event for a strong mind.
Absolutely. The one thing in your mind needs to be what you should be doing, not don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. And sometimes that just creeps in, like stay on, and that's the last thing you're going to want to think about. You know, another thing is Bree got a 9.575. It's not their norm. It's also not the worst.
It's not a 9-1.
That's right. And so it's something to work with, but it also, I mean, the silver lining is for these Sooners is, hey, if you're going to be number one, you're going to have to handle it. Good or bad, whatever happens. I love this routine.
Here's freshman Trinity Thomas.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what it means.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I talked to her coach. And she is in a haunted house. She is a mummy, and she's unwrapping herself. And right here, she unwraps.
I love that we're whispering. Big double layout for her. Nice.
Wow. Boy, I want some of that double layout.
I'll take all that double layout.
One thing I love about Trinity is that she really knows how to use her face when she performs. I mean, she delays her eye contact with it. She keeps her focus on someone like she's looking right at you. It's kind of intimidating.
The Gators are second in the nation on this event as a team.
I love that part. It's so cool and so unexpected. You can see why she's claimed to have the whole package.
Wow.
Look at that. High, 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 double pike. Oh, and she turned into a beautiful butterfly. That's exactly what her coach told me, and clearly she did.
Great routine for the Gators. Foreign score is in, 9.9.
Next for Oklahoma on beam, Maggie Nichols.
Here's a look at that big opening pass.
Wow. She does make it look easy.
And here we go, Maggie Nichols. For the Sooners, looking to put up a big number to kind of save Oklahoma on this event.
Well, and because she's been resting her foot a little bit, it makes you wonder if she's had in the numbers.
I guess we'll see.
So far, so good. I'm just sitting here with my mouth open a little bit because every time I watch her on balance beam, I'm kind of like, she's so confident. It's like, this is so easy for her. It just looks like she's, you know, riding a bike. This is what makes her a champion. This is what makes everyone talk about Maggie Nichols, is this right here.
Well, she's not done yet, Kelly.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Some gymnasts you watch and you know they're not going to fall. I'd bet on this routine. I guess you're not supposed to do that. Okay. Full and a half.
There it is.
I mean, like, really? She's like, this is how it's done, not in my house.
A fall for the Sooners, another mistake for the Sooners, and Maggie comes up and delivers for Oklahoma. Wow, this is why Maggie Nichols is the 2018 national champion.
That's exactly right. No worries. Mounted the beam like, hey, everybody, I got this.
Incredible.
Gorgeous.
You see
Just
the fans
gorgeous.
throwing up the 10s.
Yeah. This is a great routine, too.
Here's Alyssa Bauman for Florida.
Get ready for another. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to let you see it.
Sophomore from Dallas, Texas.
For shelling pass, what is it? Oh, she didn't do it. She didn't warm up, I saw her. Maybe she's saving it, maybe she's not, but she normally does a double layout also. Perhaps. They don't need it.
We might just see it later on in the season.
One thing I love about her type of gymnastics, she has great arms. Her dance with her arms. She just moves and they're soft and supple and beautiful all the way through to her fingertips.
Could be a reason because she trained at WOGA.
Exactly.
They do have great style, great flair, the gymnasts that come out of WOGA.
That's exactly right, Meg. Got that Nastia look, right?
Trinity Thomas, her score is in 9.95.
Boy, it's going to be tough. Look at that.
Nice.
6, a perfect double pike. Wow. That's all I got to say. Really great. And they know it. They're like, look, we're coming in here to win.
Hey,
we're
that was
coming
a
in here
great
to
rotation.
play.
So it looks like the Gators will drop that leadoff score of a 9.55 and count that last anchor spot. Maggie Nichols, her score is in 9.975. That means one judge gave her a 10. Great finish for the Sooners. Here's Brenna Dow, the senior from Gage Gymnastics, doing an exhibition routine for Oklahoma. This routine will not count, although I'm sure they might want to count it after this.
You know, Brenna has such a unique flight series because she does the front element and then she has to immediately keep moving to go right into the back pike. Very difficult. You know, Brenna didn't compete on balance beam until her senior year. So I think maybe a couple of times she might have exhibitioned. And I think people thought she can't do beam. So
Oh, she can.
Oh, she can, exactly right.
Has competed in the all-around 2 times this season. And the fans love it.
I have to say I'm one of them. That was a beautiful full twisting back handspring. I'm not sure if everyone knows how difficult that is on balance beam.
She makes it look so easy.
And a front full.
Wow.
Perfect landing. Guess what? She might be in that lineup next week.
After that.
You know what? She's such a competitor. Having trained at Gage Gymnastics, you know, and being at that elite level, Olympic level, she knows, you know, when it's time to bring it, she can. And KJ Kindler might just have a little change of lineup going forward.
Well, it looks like the Sooners were going to huddle up here before that last rotation. Big last rotation coming up next. As we head back over to floor, here is Savannah Shanehair, an exhibition routine for the Gators.
This is her first time to ever compete on floor exercise. So
The score's will not go towards their score.
this is a great event for her. And again, exhibition gives them opportunity to get some experience, try out some new elements or new routines.
Rachel Bauman scores in 9.95, so the Gators will have a 49.6 on the floor, and the Sooners will have a 49.2. Florida has closed the gap from that second rotation.
Well, and the key, as you know, Meg, going forward, it's hard to end on balance beam. Florida they have the momentum, however, in my opinion. They hit this fantastic floor set. They're going over to beam. It really makes a difference, the confidence as you're walking into balance beam. And, of course, the Sooners will be headed over to floor exercise, which is fun and engaging in the crowd. So talk about, don't leave. This competition is so close.
So coming up next, Oklahoma goes to the floor. Florida goes to beam. OU is leading 148.5 to Florida 148.425. We are less than a tenth apart from these two teams. Coming up, the final rotation. Stick with us here at Sooner Sports TV.
Last rotation. It is so tight. Anyone's game. Everyone in the country is watching this meet tonight.
Oklahoma up by less than a tenth of a point heading into this floor rotation. Anastasia Webb will start following Bree Showers, Jordan Draper, Jade Degovea, Brenna Dow, and anchoring is freshman Olivia Troutman. For the Gators, Megan Skaggs opening up for Florida. Amelia Hunley, Alicia Boren, Rachel Gowie, Trinity Thomas, and Alyssa Bauman. Leah Clapper will exhibition for the Gators. We have a good one. This is what it's been advertised, Kelly. Number 1 versus number 2, and there's a difference of less than a tenth heading into this final rotation.
Well, and I'll tell you what, the Sooners are ranked 4th in the country on floor.
Their lowest ranking.
Yet Florida is ranked number 2 on balance beam.
Very interesting.
So, really, this is where it's all at. Florida's routines are very clean. They are going for perfection.
And here it is. This who starts it off, Megan Skaggs, the sophomore from Marietta, Georgia, with a nice opening, difficult turn.
Again, she was a silver medalist at the 2015 Pan Am Games. And we're getting opportunity to see why. She looks very relaxed. The team huddling in the background. Here's the flight series.
I'm sure they know how close this meet is.
Yep. Every movement makes a difference. And for those of you that may be watching who aren't gymnastic fans, it is harder to score higher on balance beam than it is going into floor exercise. And so the Gators know that. Tiny step. Great start off, though.
Really good lead off.
And very calm, which is a key thing, is to set the tone for the rest of the team. Let's just do our job and stay the course.
Do what you can control. Anastasia Webb, the sophomore up for the Sooners, opening up this floor lineup. She's an All-American on this event. Career high 9.95.
She's the one that I mentioned early in the broadcast. She's the one that can draw you in. There's something about the way she moves. I think there's a song with it. Watch her tumbling pass. The Sooners have different tumbling than the Gators. That's a front double full. Same value. Crowd doesn't realize it. Generally,
difficulty.
Of difficulty, yes. Look at that. You can see her spot. She has flexibility, strength. You can see it. Her body's gorgeous. She's in attack mode.
As she should be.
Her music kind of illustrates the mood right now.
The intensity in the arena.
Absolutely. Every eye is watching. So here's that last pass of Rudy.
Nice.
She makes it look so easy.
Kinda
It doesn't even look hard.
All right, good opening routine for the Sooners.
That's exactly what Coach Kindler's looking for. Let's get this team back on track.
I would have loved to know what KJ Kindler said in that huddle after that beam rotation. Megan Skaggs scores a 9.875 to lead off the Gators. One more look at Anastasia Webb's final pass. As we head back over to beam, Amelia Hunley in that second spot for the Gators.
And as we mentioned earlier, she has all this international experience. I mean, she's not a novice on the balance beam or being put in a pressure situation, competing in international meets, world championship level, Olympic trials. She handled that just beautifully. Front arrow right into a Sassone.
Season high 9.9 on beam for Amelia.
Wow. You can't really go wrong with the music. Flip-flop back handspring, or flip-flop layout or back handspring layout. As I said, I noticed that the Gators, they're clean. The choreography's clean. Their movements are sharp. It's to have very little deduction. Of course, they take risk on their major elements that they have to. But other than that, I think you'll see why. That explains why they're number 2.
Good routine.
Well, you know what? And these landings are key. I mean, they're just nailing these landings.
That's what it's going to come down to. Anastasia Webb, her score is in that leadoff position, 9.95. Huge score for the Sooners.
Wow.
Now on next for Oklahoma.
That was a pretty high score. I know the Sooners will take it, and she did a great job.
Here's junior Bree Showers in that number 2 spot. Following a mistake on beam, we'll see how she performs on floor.
Oh, she's great on floor exercise. Should not affect her at all.
Oklahoma really excited to have her back in this floor lineup.
You can hear the crowd. That's cute. For some of the people here tonight, I think this is their first opportunity to see gymnastics live and in person, and it's so different. Look at this. Perfect landing.
Are they not entertained, Kelly?
Really? Well, I think they're impressed, not just entertained, because, I mean, this sport is difficult. It's, you know, in so many ways. It's a year-round sport. It's, you know, it's not seasonal. We have a season, but it's not a seasonal sport. You can't take off generally. All right, Rudy, clean. One thing Coach Kindler does is she really pays attention to the type of dance of the athlete, the gymnast that she has, and really creates their routine around that. Their personality, the way they move. Oh no! Wow,
Pressure's on now for the Sooners
surprising.
once again.
Well, you know, the way she covered it, it didn't look like a fall, but anyone who knows gymnastics knows that's a fall.
The judges know that is
that's
a
right.
mistake.
That's right. So
Up next for Florida.
Wow.
You know, this is just it's a kind of a shock. I'll just be honest. It's really a shock because they're not used to failing like this.
The door is open for Florida, and Amelia Hunley just scored a 9.925 as we bring you to Alicia Boren, the senior, on the balance beam for Florida.
Every routine counts, even if it's not the scoring, the routine that counts. It leads to confidence. Here's her back handspring, her layout flight series.
Oh,
no.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay.
This is crazy.
The pressure is really just, it's so intense you can just cut it with a knife. Come on, Alicia.
Wow, so now both teams have to be essentially perfect to not count their respective falls.
It kind of puts them back into an even playing field again.
True.
Gainer lay.
What a shame. She is so great on this
I
event.
know. Did you see that full turn? I loved how she spotted half in between. It was great. I think for her too, she's like, what just happened here?
I don't fall off this event.
No kidding.
Wow. As if the drama wasn't enough.
Exactly.
Here's her dismount one more time. Huge, sky high.
Do you think perhaps they're doing this just for the crowd, just for entertainment value, because it's stressing us out?
I know. Here's sophomore Jordan Draper for the Sooners. Has to hit now. Pressure's on for her. Has not been in this lineup all season.
She did compete, though, for the Sooners a bit.
She competed last week.
That's right, last week. Okay, clean and easy. We'll take it. They'll take it. Fun.
Free shower scores in 9.325. So we'll see what Boren's score is when that comes in on beam.
You know, one way I can tell that they are so serious is because normally she would have this cheesy smile on her face, and she is all business, which she needs to be. I love the crowd, just like they recognize the need to hit.
Oh, the meat is on the line. You know, Kelly, I expected this to be a meet for the ages, but I don't think I expected this.
Exactly. Oh, you know, I'm just kind of like, I know it's foreign for most people who might know me, but I'm a little bit out of words with this competition tonight. It's kind of like watching one of those football games. You don't want to watch a blowout. You want to watch something intense.
OT.
If there could be an OT, I feel like we've been in through it a couple of times already.
Every event is overtime. Here's Rachel Gowie, the junior for the Gators, All-American on this event, has been in every single balance beam lineup for Florida.
She is so easy to watch. She performs a triple series, meaning 3 acro elements in a row. We'll see if she holds back and does just two skills.
Not looking like it.
Wow.
Nice.
That's gutsy and impressive. Front aerial. Directly to Sassone. You know, she doesn't look nervous at all. Very relaxed. You know, with the pressure on like that, sometimes I just remember feeling like I was shaking in my shoes up there.
Sometimes it's more nerve-wracking watching them than the athletes actually feel.
And gainer full and a stuck landing.
Great routine.
Right on the money.
Boren scores in 9.25. Huge score for Jordan Draper on the floor, 9.95.
Well, it's the best routine I have ever seen her do. Sometimes she can get loose with her form, and tonight she was spot on.
So the Sooners have 2 9.95s and one 9.325. And here is Jade Dagovea, the junior, on the floor exercise.
Jade is a true true competitor. She means business now. Of course, she is in the jungle, just so you know. Just to set the scene for everyone.
Has a career high 9.925 on floor.
So confident. Wow. I just am amazed. Like, each year I love her routine, and then the next year I love it even more. It's like Coach Killer gets to know them just a little bit more, a little bit better.
Jordan Draper scores a career high by more than 0.2 of a point, delivering when the Sooners needed her most.
Nice, a perfect landing. She stayed there just to rub it in. Great job for Jade Degavea. Really great for her.
That's what Oklahoma wanted. Big score for Rachel Gowie on beam, 9.9. After Boren with a fall. Again, coming down to the wire. These teams are delivering.
Just shaking my head. This is the best competition I've been in, watched in so long.
Here's Trinity Thomas. Look at those scores. What a night for her. Big hop on that vault, but great bars and floor routines for her.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's going to be the gymnast that gives Maggie Nichols a run for her money for the national title this year. Maggie won the all-around in 2018, but the 2 previous years were won by Florida Gators.
Love that flight series, that one-arm back handspring.
It's very original. She did it so easy. Honestly, I knew she did that, but I kind of didn't even notice this time around. I was like, oh, yeah, there goes her flight series. She could do it without hands. I'm not sure I would notice. I mean, it was great. You know, with all of the pressure right now, the meet being on the line, and to be on balance beam, the Gators are doing a fantastic job.
They are. So clean.
So here's the dismount again. Beautiful double full legs, feet
Blue
perfect in the air. Tiny, a hop on the landing, maybe just half a tenth. Last week she nailed it solid. But there was the one-arm back handspring into the layout.
Scores in for Jade Degavea, a career high 9.975. One judge gave her a 10.
It was pretty great.
And here we are, Brenna Dowell, the senior. Will she throw the dowel? The skill that's named after her. She's done it a couple times this season. Here we go.
See, right here, front handspring, double pike.
Yes.
Wow, she sure did. You know, what a risk taker. Because I don't know if the coach makes that decision or she does, but I mean, she doesn't need that. She could do the double tuck just as easier.
Why do that when you have the drama of this meet to begin with?
Exactly. So back full and a half. I love how they're finding their landing. This is something they really need to do, and what a fine time to do it. I love her really starting to smile in her routine. It was just missing for those first 3 years in college, and now she just... It's just so great. It's like watching your kid grow up. You just love it. All right, last pass. Front lay, right into front full. Perfect landing. Jumping right out of it. She knows it's great, too. Very good.
And the crowd is on their feet for that routine. Wow, Trinity Thomas just scored a 9.925. The Gators now have 3 scores of 9.9 plus and one 9.875.
So close. Well, and that double front for Brenna, even the Dow, as great as it is a little bit short. I mean, just a tiny bit shy. Look at they're happy she made it.
Yep.
They're just like, oh, make it, please, make it.
Here's your anchor for the Gators, Alyssa Bauman, trying to close things out so they don't have to kind of fall.
Well, she fell last week. So, she might have taken out the skill. It was on her anodi, which is a twisting element, and she certainly doesn't need it.
It's risky.
It's very risky.
Looks confident up there so far.
I'll be surprised if she does it.
I would too.
The W is on the line right here. Neither team wants the L tonight. They just...
That learning experience, right, Kelly?
That's exactly right. Kind of like a teaching moment.
Wow. Huge routine.
Okay, perfect. It was great.
What are the judges going to do with that? So now they get to drop Alicia Boren's score for sure, right? All right, Olivia Troutman on the floor exercise. She has to deliver.
No pressure for the freshman.
No pressure. The last routine that counts towards the team score is on a freshman.
Ranked second in the country on this event.
Those are her scores right there. Opens up with a big double layout.
Well, and she does it with ease, so I'll be surprised if it changes any. Nice.
Brenna Dow scored a 9.975. Wow.
Perfect landing. Nice. You know, whoever the winner is of tonight, this is a fantastic competition and great experience for both teams involved. She's just got power coming out of everywhere. So easy for her. Oh. Thought it was over.
You don't want this to end, Kelly.
Oh, I do, but I do.
Wow, great routine.
What a night.
Oh my gosh.
What a night.
And the score is in for Bauman, 9.975. The Gators go 49.6 on the last event in beam, not having to count that fall. Huge score.
Numerous season highs. I mean, if nothing else happens, they have one of the best away scores to count for their team total to get that regional qualifying score.
So depending on Olivia Troutman's score, that essentially declares the winner.
Right. I think Coach Kindler thinks maybe.
We'll see. Here's Leah Clapper. Just an exhibition for the Gators, so this score does not count. All of the scores have already counted for the Gators. And Olivia Troutman goes 9.975, and the Sooners go 49.825 on the floor. Wow, what a finish.
And not only that, but it is a new record for the Sooners. High score ever. Not just for the season, but ever. Previous record was a 49.725.
So a whole 10th higher when they needed it.
Well, we all know that is what a true champion does, is they rise to the occasion during the adversity. But I'll tell you what, the Florida Gators brought their A game tonight. And this is like a pre-show for the national championship.
So unofficial scores are in. Oklahoma wins it with a 198.325 to Florida's 198.025. What a meet. We will wrap everything up, put a bow on this insane meet, Kelly. Coming up after this, you are watching Sooner Women's Gymnastics presented by Bud Light, the official sponsor of Oklahoma Athletics, reminding you to enjoy responsibly. Welcome back to the Lloyd Noble Center. What a meet between #1 ranked Oklahoma and #2 ranked Florida. Final score, OU wins 198.325 to Florida's 198.025. A career best, excuse me, not a career, a program best for the Sooners on the floor, delivering when they needed to. This is brought to you by the Taco Mayo. And we have... Do we have KJ? Let's hear if we have KJ. So KJ is standing by with our own Emily Dunford.
Coach, 2 uncharacteristic falls tonight on beam. What was your message to the girls going over to floor, and how did they respond?
Yeah, honestly, I just talked to them about competing. We weren't competing, you know, and so they need to be really aggressive going over there. The opportunity was still there. We were still ahead even after those mistakes, so the message was to compete hard.
Struggling with some depth issues on bars. You guys set a program high on bars. How was that, and how proud of you are you of that team?
Yeah, you know, our bar team has been fluctuating a lot. We've had a couple people go out in the last week. So we've really been shuffling a lot of things on that event. It was exciting to see Olivia out there. It's good to see we have depth, but we need those people to get healthy and get them back in there.
Olivia Troutman, an all-arounder as a freshman. How does she continue to impress, and what does that mean for the rest of this program as she goes on?
I mean, you saw her out there. She's calm as a cucumber. She's anchoring the floor squad. She knows she has to hit. She's 18 years old, and she's like, I got this, coach. No problem. She just doesn't hesitate. She is a competitor. She is cool and calm, awesome to watch, fun. I mean, amazing charisma. She's going to be a star.
All right, #1 and #2 going against each other tonight. It comes down to the wire. What does this say about women's gymnastics in the state that it's in, and how much fun was it?
Well, what about this crowd? Amazing. I'm so excited that so many people came out to check this out because we didn't disappoint. It came down to that last routine. So women's gymnastics is awesome. It's a fun event. These ladies are more athletic than anyone I know. Upper body, lower body, endurance, you name it. And they have to be so mentally tough. I mean, this is a great sport. People shouldn't miss it. I'm so excited to see all the Sooner fans here tonight.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Meg.
Emily, thanks so much. What a win for the Sooners, led by Olivia Troutman, the freshman, leading the way with a 39.725 in the all-around.
When Coach Kindler told me about Olivia coming to Oklahoma, I thought, yeah, here we go again. But boy, howdy, has she really blossomed, and she's just going to be so fun to watch over the next 4 years. I mean, not just this year, but I mean, this is kind of her coming out song and statement to say, come watch gymnastics and come watch me.
And Maggie Nichols, the junior for the Sooners, competing on just bars and beam. But look at those scores, 9,975 on both events.
We talked about it. Near perfection is what we need, and she listened. And you know, that's just who she is. She's such a gamer. And she's going to use tonight as motivation to get back into that other lineup. She didn't want to be out.
And here's Brenna Dowell, another senior for the Sooners, on the floor, throwing the dowel.
Very exciting to see her just, again, she's coming into her own as a senior, just so proud, so confident, and I love to see her joy.
And the routine of the night is brought to you by Love's. No question, the 10.0 for the Sooners, senior Nicole Lehrman.
She was indeed perfect. And I love the fact that the crowd kind of knew it before even the judges. I mean, the crowd were like, look, that's a 10. We all know that's a 10. Let's just go ahead and throw that right on up. And they did. What a solid.
Heading into the final rotation, the Sooners were up by 1/10 of a point. There were falls. There were 9.975s. There were a couple 10s thrown by judges. final thoughts on the meet, Kelly?
You couldn't ask for a more exciting competition for gymnastics in general. I mean, I just don't remember the last time I was up and down with thought and emotion in watching this sport. It was just so phenomenal, and I just hope people come back and get to see it again, because as Coach Kindler said afterward, this is a great sport to watch.
And Florida counts a 198 now as a road score. A great showing from the Gators. All right, that is going to do it for us tonight. Oklahoma wins 198.325 to Florida's 198.025. A 1-2 matchup for the books. Thank you so much to our producer, Zach Tilley, my partner, Kelly Garrison-Funderburg, and Emily Dunford on the floor. I'm Meg McDonald. We will see you next time, Sooner Nation.